Hey Jeffrey, how's it going?
Good, yourself?
Okay, beautiful day here.
Yeah, same.
Um, just got a review time today, I guess, unless there's anything that we haven't really covered here. I've got a lot of units. Um, I, I was going to give you, I'm not going to give a quiz over population size. So if you're wondering about that, so here are all the lessons, beginning with that first one, the conservation idea. Um, Resources and scarcity, blah, blah, blah. So all the way down, all of these have a quiz except this one on human population size, distribution, and density. That's just a lot of memorization. And you got enough quizzes at this point. Probably have too many, but that's, you know, you might as well garner all the points you can. Um, and then what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you've had time to do all of these or not,
Got a
but
couple more.
I think most people are probably scrambling right now to try to get them done, which is good in some ways. But I'm gonna extend the deadline for the quizzes and open up the quizzes to um, more than two more than two attempts. I'll just put it at that. It might be a lot more than two, so it'll at least give you some chances to use the quizzes as they're really kind of intended, which is, to kind of quiz yourself over the material. Um, then on the exams are, uh, let's see here. Anyway, I've got the exams ready to go, and all those are really, um, we call them exams, but I had, I could either try to get you all to do online proctored exams, which I've done before, but I hate those things, and uh, mainly because they're so stressful. So what I'm going to do is the exams that I have are basically five. Let's see, 8 questions. You have 8 questions worth five. Is it five? No. Hang on a second. What's your syllabus say? Yeah. Okay. So they're worth 10 apiece. So actually, I could do more than that. I don't know. I might do 16 questions worth 5 points apiece. That might be a little better. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's do 16 questions, 5 points apiece, and they're not this exam, which is also in Canvas called a quiz, is not going to be timed. It's not like you have to, scramble to get the answer out. Some of the questions might be kind of ambiguous, but they're intended for you to kind of think or kind of reason through something. But basically 80 points, and let's say 16 questions, 5 points apiece. Those are going to be launched tonight, midnight, something like that. And you'll have until 11:59 Monday, the 21st, to finish everything. So not a lot of pressure. I mean, you can spend as much time as you want to on it, but most of these are not going to be huge answers. So I don't know. So I guess at this point, unless anybody else is showing up, you've kind of got the floor. Any question you want to ask?
Regarding the exams, I take notes during all of our lectures, are you going to have open note for the exam?
Yeah, yeah, it's all open note, open book, but you don't have a book. So it's open canvas, open note, whatever.
Okay.
And basically it's just going to open at midnight tonight, and then it'll close at midnight or 11:59 Monday. So you'll have all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to do it. And it shouldn't take you. It shouldn't take. I mean, it shouldn't take you that long. I wouldn't think. 16 questions. They're kind of like, I would call them short essay or long answer questions, not long essay. You know, at the most, you'll be writing a couple of paragraphs. At the least, you'll be listing. At the least, you'll be listing 5 things. Okay. Here's an example.
I think I can manage that.
Yeah, this is an example. Identify 5 critics of capitalism discussed in the course. You know, philosophers who were, you know, critics. Just identify those. Okay, that was kind of like a question in one of your quizzes. Everybody got confused on that. So I should, since we're taping this, I should let everybody know. There's a question that says, which of the following was not an English critic of capitalism? And it listed, like, I don't know who all they were, but they were all Englishmen. They were all Englishmen. I had one German in it in a previous semester, and so everybody answered the German guy. Yeah, and that was a bad question because, okay, he wasn't an English critic of capitalism. He was a German, but that's not the point. I wanted the students to identify the one person who was not a critic of capitalism, who was a proponent of capitalism. And the answer to that, you remember the answer to that one?
Oh God, I took that quiz maybe a week or two ago.
Okay. A lot of people freaked out and said, "Oh, John Lennon," because I had to come up with a 5th name, and so I that English critic of capitalism, John Lennon, one of the Beatles, you know, Love In, all that kind of stuff. He was most definitely a critic of capitalism, although he benefited a lot from capitalism selling records. But the answer to that was, I think maybe Thomas Mouth was on the list, but it was Adam Smith. Okay, Adam Smith was very much a proponent of capitalism, sort of the father of modern economics. Not, you know, he was what people call a political economist, but he was actually more of a philosopher, and he was interested in things like morality and ethics. And he found that capitalism offered the very best possible solution for people to satisfy each other's needs without exploiting one another. And as long as the exchange was free and voluntary. He also became very much a critic of slavery, for example, which, you know, he found to be completely uneconomic. And, you know, I can go on and on, but the answer to that was Adam Smith, not John Lennon. So that was my intent. Okay. So that would be like a short, or another one would be, here's another one. And I'm just pulling these off the top of my head. These are not necessarily questions on the exam. Identify 5 soil orders that can be found in significant parts of the state of Oklahoma. Okay. And so you would identify what? What would they be? Well, there are about 10 soil orders that I went through, and about most of them are found in some degree in Oklahoma. Some of them are just, you know, some are substantial. So I could say maybe like the 5 most common soil orders or major soil orders of Oklahoma. Or we might be able to say something like, what else besides?
That was in the soil taxonomy video you did, right?
Yeah, it's in the, yeah, and if you've had if you've had any physical geography, or if you've had like the basic soils course, that stuff's going to be really totally review for you.
Okay.
But a lot of people haven't had that, so that's why I provide it. Might have a question about, or we'll probably have questions about the various federal agencies that were developed in response to the Dust Bowl, and sort of I'll ask questions about how those agencies got started, maybe how they're different in certain ways. The Soil Conservation Service, for example. Population, the unit on population was pretty substantial. I'll have plenty of questions on population. Now, if we're gonna have 16 questions worth 5 points apiece, how many units did we have? Well, let's go back up here and look at the modules. Okay, so we've got one, I didn't number these, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. An idea here. That could work. No. Okay, well, since we got 12, then we'll say 2 of those modules will get, say, well, okay, it'll be interesting. Some of those modules, obviously like 4 of those modules will get 2 questions, I guess, something like that. But I'll try to spread it out so that each one of these understanding material and each one of those lessons, let's say lessons instead of modules, this is like one module. So the learning material for the first midterm exam is one module. So we can close that up, open it up, and then we'll call these things lessons. And then you have a quiz over that lesson. So depending on the size, perhaps, of the module, you'll get more questions than the quick module. So I can say something like, okay, the tragedy of the commons, that's a pretty straightforward concept. Not a huge amount of material. You'll get at least one question. You'll get one question from that. Maybe you might get more than that. I don't know. Let's see here. So it's just kind of a matter. Some of these are going to be weighted a little bit more than other with 2 questions rather than 1 question. So you got 12, and I'm going to give you 16 questions. Okay. Shouldn't be too terrible. The main thing is, I guess, if anybody wants to, view this video, my main message would be, don't put it off. Get it done early, and maybe review it after a day or 2.
You'll be able to go back and edit it over the course of the days?
Unless you submit it.
Okay.
If you submit it, then you won't. But you can keep it open. You should be able to keep it open. Like you can open it up and answer a few questions and close it, but don't submit it. If you submit it, it's over, and then we'll have to, But yeah, it's just going to be untimed. It'll just close. Okay, that makes sense. You'll be able, should be able to go open. I've never had a problem with that with Canvas. So that's about it. I mean, it's, exam. We're doing our best. A lot of this is sort of like, well, okay, it's just showing me that you're understanding this, that you pick something up through the course. But the quizzes, of course, the quizzes will help you to some degree. All right. The other thing is, this week, by the first of the week, you should have your initial score for the first writing assignment. And what I'll do there is you'll get some feedback, you'll get a score, and let's say that, what was it, 20 points for that first one? Yeah, 20 points. So the least you can lose, I mean, the most you can lose on that if you've done everything, and you know, it's not like there are right answers or anything on that, but if you've done everything, you've written the minimum amount. What was, I don't know, what was it? Page and a half, something like that.
It was like 1,000 words.
1,000 words. Okay, if you've written the minimum amount, but you've made a slew of, you know, mechanical errors like misspellings and comma splices and sentence fragments and all that kind of stuff, you can only lose up to 10 points. So there's a maximum you can lose on the mechanical part. So even if you do that, and you know, say you get 10 out of 20, and I'm not saying you, Jeffrey, I'm just saying anybody. Okay, so let's say the student gets a 10 out of 20. I'm going to mark those things. I will resubmit, or I'll mark those within Canvas using the highlighter deal. And I'll send you some notes. And then what you'll be able to do is just make corrections to that file and then re-upload it. And then if you make all those corrections as requested, you'll get 50% of those points back. So you'd be able to make a 15 out of 20. Okay. And this is the procedure that we'll also use on the other upcoming writing assignments, which you will have soon. Okay. And I think we're leaning toward one paper with 2 or 3 different sections on it. So we'll make it more of a process than a big event. Usually you'll have an annotated bibliography to do. So I'm going to ask you to show me your research basically, and then you'll wind up putting that together and maybe doing some maps. So that's what we're shooting for. How's the GIS going, by the way?
I downloaded it the other day, and
Yeah.
I've just been kind of doing a little bit of data collection, just going through town and like doing like different population densities. But I'm really trying to figure out how to do the tools and really work different parts of it. So I'm going to do some YouTube videos probably later this evening and play with it some more.
I love YouTube. YouTube is just like, you know, you don't even have to look at the manual anymore, right? So yeah, well, that's good. Did you get desktop or did you get ArcGIS Pro?
I got the Pro. I just downloaded it to my PC.
Okay.
Since the semester started, I got a new kind of computer station set up. So I'm still talking to you with my old laptop, but I've got a nice computer with like
Good.
processes the GIS program like.
So you got a PC?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
show you. I've got my
You don't have to show.
laptop set up. No, I'll show it off. It's brand new.
Okay. It's like a gaming computer or something?
We got like 3 different monitors.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad's an accountant, and he needed to step up his Excel game. So getting spreadsheets done a lot from working from home.
Yeah, spreadsheets, they don't take up a lot of memory. It's the games that you want, right? It's the games. Okay, well.
I think he's more into the games, but yeah, I might check some out.
All right, well, that's great. If you have some good hardware, you're going to need it with ArcGIS Pro because it takes a lot. And if you have a good,
yeah,
you have a 1,000 gigabit internet connection, you're in good shape. It's still going to require a lot of memory. But well, I'm glad that play around with that. You know, you'll find that you can download so much data, or you don't even have to download it. You just connect to all these coverages that are out there. Did you get just curious, did you get a username from the library, from Kevin at the library?
No, I just used my my Oki login. So
okay.
The email address that they give you, and then you get that tied to your account and you just sign in that way.
Right. So it's you go to the domain OSU-GEOG for OSU Geography
That's it.
Okay, so yeah, so it's all automated then. Everybody could do that. Hey,
Yeah.
that would be something fun we could incorporate into the class maybe. So
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. It'd definitely be a challenge.
yeah, okay. Well, it's a possibility. So not that everybody has to learn ArcGIS Pro. I'm still learning ArcGIS Pro myself. So ArcGIS Desktop I've used for 20 years, but it's Pro is a little different. It's nice. Well, do you have any questions, Jeffrey?
Not off the top of my head. You gave me some things to definitely study and go over again.
Okay. The main thing is don't have too much anxiety about the exam. Okay.
All
Uh,
right.
don't have too much anxiety. You'll get it all. I want everybody to get it done by Monday evening so that we can, and we won't have our online meeting on Monday. There's no point in that. But on Tuesday, I'd like for us to begin our next unit, which will be on forestry, I think is what it is. So we'll get started on that, and we'll roll through the next few units, and you'll get the hang of the exam. The first exam is always the one that people are worried a lot about, but I think you'll find it not so unpleasant. Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for showing up, Jeffrey. You get the gold star, man. I wish we would get more people, but I know how it is. A lot of people are working and unable to come at this time. But I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Well, good luck with that ArcGIS Pro. I want to know more about it.
All right, cool. Take care.
Yes. All right. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye.